Hello viewers, it's Super TT here with episode number 4 of the Record Hunter Challenge. So I'm attempting to get my best lap time or stage time around this stage in Wales. I do like the Wales stages, amongst my favourite stages in the game. We're doing the 2010 class in the Ford Fiesta. I thought I'd mix it up a little bit here because pretty much everyone uses the Volkswagen Polo. I know it is a very good car, but I thought I'd mix it up with this one. So coming through the first turn, I kind of brake there. Didn't actually need to, it turns out. Now this is the part of the video where I attempt to just do the stage for the first time without restarting. Basically, it's always best to try and go through to the end of the stage to try and learn as much of it as possible, rather than go about 10 meters, crash, restart, go about 10 meters and crash, and then repeat that 2,000 times. Learning the first 10 meters of the stage, but learning nothing else apart from how to do that first 10 meters. So it isn't always a good idea to try and go through to the end if possible. Now this first sector is fairly tight, and then it opens up slightly as we approach the first sector split here, and we have a time of 53.1. Now that is our benchmark. Hopefully we can beat that, and we go flying over here. It shows you how easy it is to mess up on this game. And as I go off the track there, I could have pressed Y there to recover the vehicle, but my recommendation is to try and get back on the track if you can, because if you have 10 seconds left on the countdown and you press Y, it just gives you a 10-second penalty. So there's not really much point. You might as well just try and get back on the track unless you can't do it at all. But we move to the end of the stage here, or towards the end, and I've gone off once again. Now I'm just going to recover that because this stage time is going to be so bad anyway that I might as well just get through to the end, get over and done with, put myself out of my misery, and then try again in just a moment. So coming over this stage, this sector, oh my god, I had so much trouble with this. This was so tricky. The previous Wales stage I did, I felt alright, I felt quite good. But this one is so hard. This one has some adverse camber around that turn there, and I kind of just messed it up completely, going up the wall as well. So I'm just losing so much time, but I know exactly where I can improve for the next runs. Coming up to a hairpin as we approach 95% of the stage done. 3 minutes 37 at this moment as we come through the final couple of turns here. Kind of opens up as we come uphill, go over a little jump here, and then we cross the line for a time of 3:47.7. We could definitely go quicker. Look at number 1 in the world, 2:55. I'm nearly a minute slower. That really does show you how bad that run was. I got a couple of penalties, a couple of times I flipped over and was just genuinely quite slow in a lot of places. So a lot of improvement to be had there. I'm not going to scroll down to where I am because that will take about 2 years, because I'm about 9 millionth in the world, because that was just the most awful time ever. But then we're going to start again here. Now this opened me up into probably the most frustrating 45 minutes of my gaming career. So we do eventually get to the end of the first sector there. We are slightly quicker, about a second quicker than our best. But then, coming down this hill, we are going to get on the brakes way too late and slide too wide, hit the car and just spin around, recover the vehicle there. No, we're not. We are going to move ahead to this sector here. Oh my god, it was so bumpy and just so narrow. I was pretty much taking it on half throttle for most of the time. It was so hard to get a precise run through there, and fair play to anyone who did, get a really top leaderboard time on this stage, because you have to absolutely nail that with absolute bravery. 3:42 there, improved by 5 seconds, but not much really at all. So we're going to go here a little bit too early, restart again. And then this is what I mean about the 45 minutes of shame. As I just go flying off, and I did this literally about 30 times. I'm not even joking. Do a little bit of a wheelie there, and then just go for a bit of a tumble down the side of the Welsh countryside. Quite a nice view of the countryside down there, but it's not a very quick line for rallying, I must say. And also going flying into the trees at about 100 miles an hour. I'm dead already. Second corner again. Kind of hit a little bump here, don't turn early enough, go into the trees once again, and then restart, and then do the same again, go straight into the same tree pretty much, making the same mistake about 300 times, which was so frustrating. Then I just went for another jump start, but eventually I got through to a run where I got through to the end without crashing too many times. And this was going to be my final run. I said to myself, if I get through to the end with a decent time, I am just going to go with it. We're not going to hunt for the record here, we're only going to hunt for talent, because that's the thing I seem to be apparently missing on this game, or at least this stage. The only records I'll be hunting for the most flips over and the most restarts on one stage can put me in the Guinness Book of Records for that. But we are going to come through here through the first sector. I did like this first sector actually, and again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, it's the one that you do the most because of all the restarting. So I was pretty familiar with that sector, it must be said. And this sector here opens up. It's really tough to get these fast flowing sectors right, especially with jumps, because you go over those jumps at the slightly wrong angle and you're just going to land 2 miles off to the side of the track where you do not want to be. So it requires absolute precision to be fast in this game, and I mean fair play to the people who do get, you know, legit #1 times, because it requires a lot of skill, let me tell you that. So after the first sector there, we were slightly down on our time, but as I said, I was always just going to go through to the end with a clean time, no matter if it was slower or faster. Just coming through this sector here, going through those posts quite nicely actually, getting a decent turn. This is the hairpin where I went wide slightly before hitting the car on the outside. The car brakes really slowly. Normally when you're going downhill, cars will brake slower than normal because you're not, well, it's kind of against gravity when you're going downhill. So through the second sector we are slightly up now. We've got a green sector there, which is good news. Kind of overcorrecting myself coming down that hill there. That's one tactic you can use though. As you go over a jump, slightly turn to one side before you go over the jump, and then your car will enter a slide upon landing. But then I corrected it too much. Now this is the sector I found so tricky. The car was so bouncy and just did not want to get any traction anywhere. So I was just lifting off constantly through this section, and there was a big chance of falling off the side there, the massive drop on the left hand side. So I really had to be very careful with my throttle applications, and as you can see, almost going off there, 2.1 seconds down on our best time. But this last sector was by far my worst in my previous best run, so I knew that if I could just get a clean run I could definitely improve upon my time. So coming through that sector there, that's where I crashed quite a lot of times. This time I haven't, because I've actually adjusted myself slightly. This one I crashed there so many times and almost doing it again. The adverse camber there just catching me out every time, and I know it's coming up, I know the corner is coming, but I just do the same mistake every time. It's really stupid when I do it, and I just go through and I think, what am I doing? I know it's coming up, but I just do the same mistake. But coming through into the final couple of corners here, we are less than 10 seconds up on our best, coming across the line 3 minutes 13.97 as we cross the line, so quite a lot better than before. We're going to look at the leaderboards here, but they don't actually want to work for some reason. Now this has actually been a persistent problem in Dirt Rally. The leaderboards don't want to work at all. So I don't know where that was in the world, but probably not very good, I must say that. So you might be wondering, why the hell are you calling this Record Hunter? I don't know, to be honest. It's a catchy title, and I probably should try to get a record at some point to try to actually make that title a legitimate title. But anyway, after that, I can only say good grief that one's over, because that was probably the hardest one I've done so far. But thank you to everyone who suggested stages for me to do. Please do suggest more in the comments below, and I shall see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Goodbye.